From your experience, what, and this isn't necessarily had to be related to athletes or whatever, but from your experience, what is the leading cause in causing males to have low testosterone, would you say?
That's a fairly detailed question. I think high cortisol, because we're all living a high stress life, and then high estrogen. But we'll deal with the cortisol first, I guess. So bear in mind, cortisol and testosterone are made from the same stuff, pretty much. How much of that stuff you go towards testosterone, and how much goes towards cortisol depends on how stressed you are. So if I'm leading this high stress life, I'm living with my missus, I hate the girl. Don't sleep right. My kids are driving me insane. I hate my job. I'm eating high carbohydrates or processed food or all these things. I'm not being accountable to myself. I'm not self-aware, keeping grateful diary, all that stuff. My micronutrients are crap, like I don't take magnesium, don't take zinc. Then you're on a beat and you're training actually really hard all the time, chronically elevated training, especially aerobic output rather than anaerobic, high-end aerobic, blown out your ass training. Then I think that's going to cause chronic high cortisol, which therefore must equate to chronically low testosterone. And then the other thing is the estrogen. Nowadays, in the environment we live in, everything is a toxin. I hate the word toxic load and detoxification, but back in when we were cavemen, I don't know what toxic load we had to deal with, not much, I guess. But now even the plastic we're drinking, the water we're drinking is full of garbage and also full of xenoestrogens, the air we're breathing, receipts we take, there's everything we touch, smell, ingest, even stuff we see on TV, that's a stressor. And that causes an estrogen load. So if, I might be waffling on here a bit, if I've got an estrogen load, my liver is the main chelator of estrogen or toxicity. My liver is the main thing. That's why your products are so good. And if my liver gets overloaded because I'm no longer a caveman, but I'm dealing with all these massive influx of toxicity, xenoestrogen, pretend estrogens, then that toxic thing has to go somewhere. It doesn't just dissipate and bugger off into the ether. And what the body normally does is it wraps it up in adipose tissue and stores it. And where it stores it is a la female, because it's a xenoestrogen. So we store it as a female would store in our hips, in our boobs, and that's how we talk about estrogen, how it affects body composition. So I think estrogen, high environmental estrogens, and low and high cortisol are the two main drivers for poor testosterone.
When you're talking about TV raising, is that any TV or is that Love Island?
Oh, if you watch Love Island, your estrogen's really high. You should be watching, yeah, exactly. But actually,
guilty pleasure.
Everyone says that, but no every episode. Well, interestingly, that you talk about what you can really go into it, and then talk about Wi-Fi. And that because Wi-Fi is all around us all the time. What's that doing? We're electrical beings, aren't we? Right?
We are electrical beings, yeah.
And we're having a Wi-Fi constantly at us all the time, so that's affecting our cortisol levels. So it's low level, and it's these tiny percentages of stuff that build up. It's like athletes, isn't it? The tiny percentage is what makes the big thing. So at night, if I remember, I turn off my router downstairs.
Yeah.
And I usually sleep better if my router's not on. Weirdly.
Yeah.
Whether that's just a bit placebo, I don't know.
Psychosomatic or something like that.
But if you think, dim your lights in your house, do that, and that'll reduce your cortisol. Write a grateful log every night. What am I grateful for today? Turn off your Wi-Fi. Don't watch TV. I mean, all the stuff we all know, type of thing. But take magnesium. That's a massive one in my opinion.
Well, just on that, so like the way I understand it is that with cortisol, sort of ancestrally, right, for the vast majority of human existence, we'd have had these high cortisol events. So whether you're getting raided by another tribe, or you're getting attacked by an animal, or you're on a hunt, like you've got this short burst where your cortisol goes through the roof, and then after it dissipates, and you see this in the wild with animals, where, you know, there'll be a chase, you know, a lion chasing a zebra or whatever it is, and if the zebra escapes, within 30 seconds it kind of just shudders it out, and then it's chilling again, right? And that's cortisol would have been through the roof, and then it drops down. And we're kind of designed for that, but in modern society we're faced with all these things that you've just touched on, a load of them there, and because of that our cortisol is constantly elevated at quite a high level. And having your cortisol at a high level leads to inflammation in the body. Not only, you know, your testosterone being low, which, you know, a lot of athletes and just, you know, men in general would want to optimize, but it also leads to high inflammation in the body, and it's just going to lead to overall de-optimization of a load of different bodily functions.